slow down to speed up. That seems weird, doesn't it? Slow down to speed up. That's kind of weird. Good morning, world. It's Barbie Lee. Woo! It's Shake Talk. It's not Shake Talk time. It's Cleanse Day. It is Cleanse Talk time. All right, so do you know that country song? And it says, God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Yeah, that's a really good line in a country song. You know, sometimes you have some really good lines in country songs. Yeah, that's one of those really good lines in country songs. Is God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Oh, husband's back. All right, so what does it mean to slow down to speed up? That's a great question. Ooh, wow. So this morning, I'm going through clearing some of my Facebook stuff, and there's a lady, just one of the networking. I've been doing a lot of networking with business people lately, and it's fascinating, right? What did I just say? God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy, right? So she writes about, if you're a CEO of a company, or you're a CEO of your small-based business, like whatever, still company, you need to calculate your hourly net worth, and then, is doing laundry costing you $1,400 a week? And I was like, what are you talking about? So I read through her post, and she's talking about how if you're spending 3 hours doing your laundry, and you're getting paid $800 an hour for your services, or whatever she did, I don't even know. So I'm like, seriously, so what she had done is she had broken down a bunch of jobs in the house, right? Like really basic jobs, like grocery shopping, food prep, cooking, tidying, chores, she called them, running errands, and laundry. That's what she'd broken down. And, if you're typically making, even at $50 an hour, you really should be paying somebody else $25 an hour to be doing this. And I was like, so what? You're supposed to work every hour that you're awake? Right? Like, where's the joy in finding a new menu? Or like a new food item to make? Or where's the joy in prepping your food, or in my case, watching the husband prep the food, and enjoying the experience of watching and being, a part of your what's nourishing your body? Where's the joy in, hiring out so that, somebody else does your laundry, and, you remember that, the warm dryer, feeling from your clothes, or hanging them on the line kind of thing, right? And then and having clean clothes. And it's just that, now I'm not saying, you have to do it all, because you can't. The whole 40-hour work week was designed around a time when somebody was home doing all that stuff for you. And I'm not saying that one person in the home should do all that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is there has to be some balance. This whole post was about the hustle culture of work. Work. Like say the word work. It doesn't even sound fun. Like say the word fun. You have to smile when you try and say fun without smiling. Work. Work. But fun. You have to say it with a smile, I'm just putting out some thoughts, putting out some ideas. What if you were to slow down to speed up? Ooh, it's cleanse day again. I got Monday, Tuesday, 2 more cleanse days. So what if we actually took time in our lives to interact, to be a part of, to experience life, right? Now, sure, let's say that you're like this high-powered individual, which, a very small percentage of our world are, and you're running this multi-billion-dollar company, which, by the way, you're probably hustling too much, you're probably losing your health because you don't have any time for anything else, like let alone exercise and good food. But, let's say that's what happens. And you hire somebody to take care of the home. Great. So then what are you doing? Are you spending all your time working? You know what I mean? Like when are you resting? When are you doing things that are fun? When are you actually living life? Because nobody, I promise you this, nobody on their deathbed says, damn it, I wish I worked more. Now my brain just went, maybe somebody was so poor they wished they'd actually gotten off their ass and worked and made some money so they didn't die so poor. So maybe that could be possible. But truthfully, no one ever says, I wish I worked more. If you were to die, say you're still working, because a lot of people that watch this are like, I'm retired, and then they let their brain go, well, you know what, you still have children or friends in your world that are still working, so this might apply to them. So it's okay to still listen. So if your entire day, your entire week, your entire month revolves around work, and then you drop dead, what happens? Right? Because this happens all the time. People just drop dead, right? Your job will likely be online before your family gets your obituary online. Like seriously, that's just the truth. Your job will be online before your obituary, which just proves that you are replaceable. Now everybody goes, oh no, I'm irreplaceable. I do this and that and this. It's a crock of crap. Because everybody's replaceable. Maybe not in somebody's heart. Of course, you're so loved. And maybe you have the only password to the computer system, but somebody will hack in and start again. We put really weird importance on this busy, hurried life. And I get it all the time. So I do networking calls and people are, oh, I'm so busy. And Barbie, you're so busy. I said, no, I'm blissfully productive. I like what I do, right? I love having conversations with people to find out their stories, to find out their whys, to see how I can help them with isogenics and quality of life assurance. I want people to live juicy and delicious lives. I want people to be able to wake up in the morning and do what I did this morning, if you want to. So I woke up this morning, I did a meditation, the sun was coming up. There was a really cool orange color because it's so cloudy this morning. So I went up onto the roof and under an umbrella, I watched the sunrise. And there was this really cool, it almost looked like a sundog, part of a rainbow, but it really wasn't. It was kind of cool. And then I saw somebody else on Facebook post that they had something like that in an orange and a yellow at their place this morning. I should have looked where they lived. I didn't. So I was like, this is so cool. We had these two things that were kind of the same. But that's how I got to start my morning. And then I got to exercise. And now I'm working. This is kind of working because I'm having my cleanse drink. I'm enticing you to do a cleanse day. I'm inviting you into my isogenics world to be super healthy. And to really simply, easily create a life where you can slow down to speed up. Because I was on a call on Saturday morning, and one of the ladies, we're talking about AI. And she's looking for an AI thing, something like a wristband or her phone or something that an AI will monitor her when she's overworked or overstressed or she's saying the wrong things. And I was like, you need to drop into your body. AI should not be the thing that monitors that for you. It has to be you. There's some certain things that we as humans have to do. But she was all about, and I told her my strategy, take time to pee. And she goes, well, when I was working with, I think she said Hewlett Packard, she said that she'd go all day and forget to pee because she just did 5 other things before she went pee. And she goes, she realized it'd been the whole day. And I was like, well, that's not good because, people get into that hurry, gotta do this. And what I'm saying is, what if you were to slow down, to speed up? Why do you have the best ideas in the shower? Anybody know? Why do you have your best ideas in the shower? Because you're not doing anything else. You're just showering. You're washing your hair, you're washing your body, shaving your legs, doing whatever it is that you do in the shower. You don't ever No, I can't say that. Typically, a shower is about thinking about nothing because you're just in the shower. Now, if you're hurried about your day and rushing around about your day and hurrying through the shower, sure, then you probably don't have your best ideas. But when you're just in the shower and it feels so good and you're letting the water rush over your hair, your head, and down your back and the soap, and maybe you're brushing your teeth, right? Or right before you go to bed. Why do you always remember things right before you go to bed? Because that's when you've slowed down. You slow down when you shower. You slow down when you're going to sleep. You slow down typically when you're brushing your teeth, when you have to go pee. These are the times where you actually slow down. And doesn't that make sense? When your brain slows down, you can get more done. I read years ago that Henry Ford, I believe it was Henry Ford, used to spend like one afternoon a day in darkness in his office and just think. He didn't have any meetings scheduled, but he was always in his office to give him the environment and the energy of work. But he didn't schedule any meetings. He just thought, wrote things down, made plans. That's what he did. What if you just took an hour a week to just think and slow down? And then what if you took 15 minutes every morning and you just took some deep breaths and just relaxed? What if you took time to pee? What is that, 5 times a day? You should be peeing at least 5 times a day, at minimum 5 times a day. So what if every time you went pee, you actually sat down, ladies, took a breath, let go, just took a breath, and then you washed your hands and played with the bubbles, and you dried your hands like you're a surgeon. You take that, you wash your hands and dry your hands like you're, going into surgery. So you actually take the time, slow down to speed up. Because doing more doesn't mean you're getting more. It doesn't mean you're being more, having more. Like it could very well be the busy, that hustle and bustle that doesn't serve you in the end. Think about, it just came to me about athletes, right? So here's a good example. So because a lot of times sometimes I say things and people go, but Barbie, you're so full of BS. So let's talk about athletes. So athletes train, a professional athlete. So let's go basketball. And they train really hard, and they keep physically fit, and they eat well, and they have their trainers, and they have their massages and all that, and then they leave professional sports. Typically, they put on some weight, they get, frumpy, they get lethargic, they're not applying the same strategies and skills after they retire from professional sports as they did when they weren't playing professional sports. And then they slowly decline. So what if they were just doing, now, yes, if you're a professional athlete, you want to go hard, but then when you stopped being a professional athlete, stay on top of things, right? You can slow down your exercise, but you'll keep your body in a great shape, right? And once you're already there, it's easier to get there than if you're trying to get there. Just remember that. So if you're already in good shape, start working out now to stay in good shape, because it's easier to stay there than get there. But when we stop doing things, and like exercise, because it's something we did all the time, then we lose it, right? That use it or lose it. So what if work was the same? And I'm not saying that, stop work altogether, but I'm saying maybe it's time to slow down. Maybe it's time to look at how you spend your days. Maybe it's time to really look at your quality of life, right? Are you going to work every day and coming home and cleaning your house? And so this is what Tony Robbins, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase what Tony said. So if you've ever heard him say this, you're going to say, that's not what he said. I know, because your brain's going to do that. Here's what I remember. You go to sleep in a box, your bed. You wake up with a box, your alarm clock. You go into a box to wake up, your shower. You make something from a box and put it in a cup, coffee. and you eat breakfast out of a box, typically cereal, oatmeal, eggs. Then you go down to your box and you start your car, and you drive to your box, your office, and then you maybe at lunchtime go and get a box lunch. You get some sort of, takeaway lunch. You go back to your box, your office, and you work. You drive your box home. You pick up a box pizza on the way home, and you sit in front of the box, the TV, until you fall asleep and do it all again. And it's all about living in the box. And when I heard that, I was like, whoa. Like, how many people get up in the morning, go to work? This is Big Al. Get up in the morning, go to work. Come home from work, sit in front of the TV and go to sleep. Get up in the morning, go to work. Sit in front of the TV and go, And it's just a repeating. What if you started thinking about and planning for your quality of life? What if you were to slow down to speed up? That's why I do cleanse days. Because I want my body to slow down, to speed up. So if I'm eating all the time and my body's always in digestion, it's constantly going. But when I do cleanse days, I'm slowing down so that my metabolism will speed up, kick in, my organs will kick in, everything will just work a little bit better because it's going to be a little bit lighter. Slow down to speed up. It works everywhere, It's like sometime in traffic. Do you ever drive from traffic light to traffic light and you're stopping it, you get stopped at every one? Well, slow down. I know most traffic lights are supposed to be timed for the speed limit. So if you're driving the speed limit, you should be able to get from traffic light to traffic light. So green light to green light, or red light to red light if you're going too fast. But what if you got to slow down to speed up? Just saying, try it. And if you want some tips, ask me. Cheers, cleanse drink done for first one this morning.